I'm just gonna say this right now. Sorry, my hair's a little messed up. I need a haircut. I'm gonna say this right now. I know I'm weird. Everybody knows I'm weird. My long-term friends know I'm weird. Always been weird. It's because I think unorthodox. I think differently than the most people. I never follow in line. I never go with the sheep. I've always been that way. It's part of my lineage. My whole family lineage is like that. Constantly being persecuted for doing the right thing, being hung. One of my relatives, he was murdered a long time ago for translating the Bible. It's just we are stubborn. It's part of our genetics. We're stubborn, and we will continue to stand our ground if we're right. If we're wrong, we're wrong, and I'll admit it, and I'll apologize, and I'll move on. But when I know I'm right, you're not going to budge me. You're not going to get me to move. That being said, there's something I want to clarify to people, and I hope you guys take it this way. A lot of people call Constitution rights. Although they are rights, that is a correct definition. It's a little bit more stinging when you actually refer to them as constitutional laws, because that's really what they are. They are laws that the people have put on the government. Just like the government puts laws on us. You know, you can't speed, can't rob a bank, can't murder somebody. You know, those are laws that the government puts on us that we have to follow. The Constitution are laws that we put on them, that they have to follow. They're not for us. Let me correct that. They are for us, but they're not directed toward us. They're directed toward the government. So when you become a government employee and you swear an oath to the Constitution, you're promising the people that if you collect a paycheck from our taxpayers' money, that's the service you're going to provide. It's upholding the constitutional law that are the first laws of this country. They are also the strongest laws in this country. Other laws can be overturned. Other laws can be bent, can be ignored, can be not enforced. The Constitution cannot. The Constitution is the laws of the land. They're what establishes our country as a strong country, and these are things that cannot be infringed upon. Now, some of the constitutional laws are a little bit more fundamental than the others. Now, when Supreme Court rules that something is fundamental, it means that it is a God-given right, essentially, and I'm saying that metaphorically for you people that don't believe in God. It's when you say it's a God-given right, it means that it's a right or a law that is a fundamental principle of how this country is ran. It's the same as breathing air. A judge can't tell you, hey, stop breathing. I mean, he can, but you can't. I mean, you can't stop it unless you're on death row, and then at that point, the Constitution doesn't apply to you anyways because you're condemned. But nonetheless, what I'm trying to get at is what I've been dealing with, and I knew it was going to go this way. The only thing I've been doing this whole time, I haven't been breaking any laws. The only thing I've been doing this whole time is holding my ground on constitutional law. The judges have literally just taken the constitutional law, which they swore an oath to protect. They swore to the people that, hey, we're going to collect $240,000 a year paycheck. I promise that we'll uphold your rights. I swear to uphold and defend the Constitution. Now, what happens when they don't? Now, when they make a court order that basically conflicts with their oath and with the direct laws of what the people put on them, because the people really hold the power to this country. It's not, even though Biden's like, oh, we got Tomahawk missile. You can talk out of your ass all you want. First of all, you can't even wipe it. Second of all, nonetheless, essentially, the power to this country is held by the people. The reason why that is let's put it down to brass tacks. Say the people went to war with the country. Yeah, you got tomahawks, you got military, but first of all, taking into consideration, half that military might end up leaving, because any military that has sworn oath to the Constitution, if you have honor and you have dignity, you're not going to shoot a citizen, right? You're going to actually join them, because that's what you swore an oath to do. When you swear an oath to uphold and protect the Constitution, you're swearing an oath that you're going to protect the people, because those are laws that protect the people, right? So when you don't do that, you have no honor, you have no dignity, and you're an enemy. You're an enemy of this country. This country's foundation is the Constitution. If you don't follow it or you defy it after you swore an oath to it, you're an enemy to it. You can correct me if I'm wrong, and this is the kind of viewpoint that I've had this whole time. My child was taken from me Supreme Court has ruled that it is a 14th Amendment fundamental right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. He was taken from me violating due process because they did it when I left court, which is the only time Juley can actually be an attorney when I'm not around, because I obviously have superior knowledge than she does because she's a moron, right? She doesn't know anything. The judge helps her in court. You should see the minutes from, look at the transcripts from the court trial that I had when I took Olivia to court for violating court order. She withheld our child on a couple holidays, which she actually agreed on. She's the one that filled out this holiday schedule. She signed it. It was agreed upon. It was court ordered, and then she defied it on purpose just to be malicious. Now the judge has been on her side the whole time, agreed, and found her guilty of 2 contempts of 278.5. Now on 278.5, which is basically the same as withholding, it's withholding from a custodial parent, you could be charged with the contempt, which she was found guilty, 2 counts, and you can be charged with the criminal element, which is 5 days in jail and $1,000 fine. She was already found guilty, so I took the pile of evidence and I gave it to Sonora PD. They gave it to the district attorney's office. Cassandra at the district attorney's office did nothing. She ignored it. She turned a blind eye to it. Then I submitted evidence of felony perjury and fraud, where they submitted fraudulent evidence, a fake drug test, when they knew it was a fake drug test 2 months prior, to kidnap my child malicious. Now they did it under malintent. Because they did it under malintent, it's now federal kidnapping. Just because you do it in court doesn't mean anything. It's worse, actually, because now you're depriving somebody of constitutional rights and you're using the color of law to do it. That's 18 U.S.C. 242. That's a serious charge, and there's multiple charges of it now. And it's criminal and civil. So whenever this actually goes to court, whenever the federal court stops causing undue delays, which I'm going to be doing a writ of supersedis here pretty soon to speed that up. And if it doesn't occur, then I'm going to request that I get a different judge, because this is time sensitive. The Tuolumne County Court is trying to incarcerate me for revealing their criminal, unconstitutional federal violations on the people. So I just want to let you guys know, hear it from my side of the story, because you probably saw me on Crime Graphics get arrested. When the detective was investigating or asking me questions, he's like, "Oh, would you like an attorney?" I said, "No, absolutely not." So I talked to him and I was like, "So what is this about?" He's like, "Do you remember what happened in April, blah, blah, blah?" And I said, "I don't remember what I ate for breakfast yesterday. You want to elaborate?" "Oh, you drove downtown and you apparently revved your engine." I said, "Look, I have a twin turbo Ford F-150. When you rev my engine, you can't really hear shit. When you let off the gas, you can hear it because I have blow-off valves. You can hear it for a couple blocks. You can hear the compression from the turbos hit the throttle body when I let off. You can hear the exhaust gases exit into the air in the atmosphere. So as far as it goes, as far as revving, no, that wasn't me. There's no way you could hear that because my engine's stock, like other than the blow-off valve." I said, "Letting off the gas, yeah, you probably could have heard me. But here's the thing about it. If you have a restraining order against you and you're going down the freeway and the person that has a restraining order goes the opposite way and you guys cross paths for a minute, does that mean you violate the restraining order? Could you go to jail for that? Or should you just swerve off the road and go off into the bushes because you want to avoid getting, at what point is there a limitation? You know what I mean? So I was downtown driving to a computer job, had nothing to do with Juley. In fact, in the date in question, I remember getting a call from the sheriff's office, and I asked them, I said, is Juley even in the office? And they're like, "No." I'm like, okay. So I have to drive completely around a block, around an office building, when, first of all, the civil restraining order was granted on unconstitutional reasons. Anyways, I was filming in public, filming a documentary, having no contact with anybody, and she's mad. The reason why she's mad is because there's a conspiracy in Tuolumne County, and I'm going to say conspiracy because people think it's a tinfoil hat, but they are systematically charging fathers with unlawful domestic violence restraining orders, which triggers a family code 3044 in California, and they're telling fathers they're not rebutting the assumption to take full custody away, and you mothers are fucking disgusting for allowing this to happen to your children. What's happening is fathers are losing all custody because it invokes a higher child support payment, and the child support agency gets federal subsidies based on the amount that transfers from one parent to the other. So it's a revenue generation stream is what they're doing. So they're violating constitutional rights of fathers so that they can invoke higher child support payments and fraud the federal government, because they're getting the subsidies from the federal government. So that's what's going on. That's what I've been revealing. That's why I'm suing them, and that's why they're trying to incarcerate me. So just know, the people, I'm not doing anything against society. I'm actually trying to do good things for our children and get our children back to their parents.